that's absolutely brilliant. Srikanth Kidambi.
Incredible. And a second Super Series title in 2 weeks.
Kidambi Srikanth is playing the best badminton of his career. Having won the last 2 World Super Series tournaments in Indonesia, then Australia, the Indian shuttler is the man of the moment in men's singles. And the 23-year-old is mighty pleased to have found his winning touch after struggling with injury.
I've been out for like 3 months, last year. So it was like, the moment I, came back from that injury, the moment I recovered from that, it was just to enjoy playing badminton. That's it, And I really missed so much of competitive badminton. So now it's just about being there in the tournament as long as possible.
It was a testing period for Kidambi, who has had to endure the time away from the game and getting back to form after coming out of his injury. But the player who was once ranked number 3 in the world knew it was a matter of time before he got going again.
I think when I was actually injured after the Olympics, I was 8. And then by the time I recovered and started playing, I really lost so many points. And then I think I was somewhere in 20s, and then after a couple of months I slipped to that 31 or whatever. I think injury period was very tough because I never got such a big break. So it was tough for me also to just sit without really playing badminton. So it was tough, and then I think but still it was like I didn't want to push myself to really get back on court quick. It was just to give myself that little bit more rest I required, and I know if I can actually recover well and then start playing, I knew I'll definitely one day I'll definitely pick it up, get back to my 100% for sure.
Srikanth's positive attitude and hard work in training started to reap rewards. He reached the final of the Singapore Open in April, giving him the belief that he was getting back on track.
To play finals there, I think it was a big confidence booster for me. That's the time I really started believing in myself, and I think that Singapore, I really played well throughout the week. I really played well against some top players there, and I think that really gave that belief, that really gave that confidence I needed.
Although Srikanth lost in the Super Series final to compatriot Sai Pranith, the good showing in Singapore spurred him to push on in the next events.
Going into the Indonesia, it wasn't about winning the Super Series or playing another finals. It was just to play well from the first round, because before the Indonesia Open, I was somewhere around 25 or something, and then in the first round itself, I really got to play a top 10 player. So it was to play well from the very beginning. It was to play well from first round, because I'm playing a higher ranked opponent. It's just to play well. That's it.
And play well was exactly what the Indian shuttler did. Srikanth went all the way in Jakarta to top the podium at the World Super Series Premier Tournament.
Srikanth Kidambi has bounced back.
It was a special tournament for sure. Indonesia is definitely one of the best badminton sporting nations we have, and to win a Super Series Premier in such a huge crowd, I think it was a fantastic moment. And then more than finals, I would say the semi-finals match was a tough one, a very close one against Sean Vanu. So I think that match really gave me so much more confidence.
And Kidambi didn't stop there. Buoyed by the result in Indonesia, he carried forward the winning momentum in Australia.
Game. The moment of victory.
Going into the Australia also, it's still the same, to play well from the very beginning. I wasn't really thinking about winning, or I didn't really set any targets for myself. It was about just to play well. That's it. And after a tough week, it's always tough to play in the initial round. So So yeah, in the Australia, it was I was only thinking about match by match. That's it.
The run of good results saw the Indian player climb back into the elite top 10. His recent turnaround coincided with India roping in Indonesian coach Mulyo Handoyo earlier this year. Together with head coach Pulela Gopachand, Mulyo has been instrumental in his marvelous return to form.
Mulyo came here, in Feb, so that's when I actually recovered from an injury and started playing. So it was kind of like training with Mulyo was kind of something where I felt like I was starting from scratch. Like there's so much of him in my success for sure. Like training with him, the man who's really had so much of experience and then who's really trained Taufik for an Olympic medal, Olympic gold. So I think his experience really mattered so much, I feel.
Well, I think he's been somebody who's actually performed very well recently, and he's somebody who has a potential to do very well in the future. And we hope that he has a good performance at the World Championships, and also in the future he's somebody whom we can trust to have more results.
After the triumph in Sydney, Srikanth has become a marked man with the World Championships just around the corner. And the Indian ace is keeping to his strategy that has worked so far. Play to his best and not to be overly focused with the result.
So then there'll definitely be high expectations for sure, but for me it's about playing well, playing my game, my 100% from every round. That's it. I'm not really setting targets for myself there. It's just about playing that match. That's it. Like from the first rounds, at the World Championships will always be tough. So I'm only thinking about the initial rounds first, and then it's about match by match. That's it.
India has never had a player on top of the World Championships podium, and they'll be hoping there'll be a first in Glasgow.